Hey there, welcome back to Author Talk. I'm John Hartness of Falstaff Books, and I'm here talking with author, doctor, veteran, and one of my best friends, Darren Kennedy.
Hello.
Hey, bud.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Happy birthday.
Why, thank you.
Congratulations. You lived longer.
Yep. Not bad for 1,000,003, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, you are a doctor.
I hear you.
Says so right there on your shirt.
It sure does.
So this is the first in our Things Writers Get Wrong series, where I bring on subject matter experts and we talk about 3 or maybe more things that writers frequently get wrong in books. And I started with Darren because, one, we've ridden together a lot and had lots of conversations about this. And he's also done this panel at conventions half a dozen times. So, or more. So let's talk about let's hit the top 3. What are the 3 biggest things that writers get wrong when they're working on a book?
I would say number 1, and I see this a lot in books, but I see it more in television and movie, is that the thing that the writer chose to do to the character killed them rather than wounded or injured or slowed them down. Like, they will have people fall off a mountain and then be okay. They will have them get shot and bleed out and then be okay. And sometimes, if your character is Kryptonian or a mutant from Canada and they have an ability that lets them survive this thing, that's okay. But if it's your Joe average dude and he just fell off a 50-story building, he is likely dead.
And you're probably picking him up with a spatula.
You're probably
mailing him home in a pizza box.
Maybe.
Or maybe half a dozen pizza boxes.
Or several pizza boxes.
And a bag.
Yes. So I would say the first thing is do your research and make sure that the thing that you have just done to your character to wound them or slow them down did not, in fact, kill them outright.
Or maim them and give them lasting traumatic brain injury forever.
Yeah.
The number of people who I see in books and movies getting clocked on the back of the head with something large and solid and getting up with no, not even a concussion, much less the skull fracture and lasting injuries that would really happen. It's crazy.
I think they said that Alfred on the show Gotham got knocked out once per episode for the entire run. And I got news for you. He's not going to be right.
So what's another thing that writers get wrong?
I would say whenever a character has been injured or hurt, they're doing the wrong things to get them better. The example that I always remember is when it was on, I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and there was an episode where Skye, who was later Daisy, got shot several times, and what they did is they put her in a hyperbaric chamber to keep her alive. But she's basically been shot all through the torso and is bleeding internally. So blood inside the body is good. Blood outside the body or in the abdomen rather than inside of your little blood vessels is bad. So putting someone into a hyperbaric chamber, all that does is increases the oxygen level in the blood in their body or outside of their body that is not doing anything. And so look into what the thing you're doing is, and does that actually help the person? You know, a person who's been shot several times in the torso needs emergency surgery, needs to get every major blood vessel that is losing blood stopped, because you only have 5 liters of blood in the human body, which is a 3 liter of Coke and a 2 liter of Coke. That, if you sort of imagine that mentally, that's not a whole lot of blood. And you can imagine how quickly you can take a 3 liter and 2 liter of Coke and pour it out on the ground. That's how much time you've got.
That's like barely a gallon and a half for our people who can't convert.
Basically. So that would be my second one right there.
Now, one thing I've seen that feels like they get it completely wrong is dislocated shoulders. It always feels like you just grab the arm and yank and everything pops right back in.
if you're really lucky, that's how it goes. I know this from experience because, let's see, 7 months ago today, I dislocated my right shoulder, and it took 3 orthopedic surgeons, an ER doctor, and some fentanyl, and a whole bunch of propofol to get my arm back in. But there is a maneuver where you can literally pop it back in. And like the character Mel Gibson played back in the Lethal Weapon days, his shoulder had dislocated and relocated so many times that he just knew how to get it back in. And that is a legit thing that can happen. But if you have just dislocated your shoulder the first time, if it doesn't pop back in, you're probably going to need a whole lot of help. And then the caveat to that is that person is not going to be swinging on a rope through downtown New York City the next day. I still can't quite scratch my back like I could last year. So I would say dislocated shoulders,
yeah,
take those seriously. They hurt.
And
that arm ain't working.
Can say the same for broken arms.
This is true.
My arm 2 years later still doesn't straighten, and realistically won't. So that's 2.
Number 3.
Let's go for 3.
I would say getting the bullet out. In every show, in every movie, it's always got to get the bullet out, got to get the bullet out, got to get the bullet out. And then they take the bullet out and they always drop it in a metal ball.
Because that way the Foley artist can make the clink sound.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's getting boiling water whenever there's a baby going to be born, which you're not going to use, or getting the bullet out whenever someone has been shot is the one that I've seen the more. Neither one of those is exactly right. But getting the bullet out is not the answer. You should eventually try to get the bullet out, but really, whatever the bullet hit that is bleeding, like we talked about, 5 liters, you got to get the bleeding stopped. You can get the bullet out later. But I have multiple patients of mine who either through a gunshot incident or while cleaning their weapon or something have bullets just in them for years. And as long as they're doing okay with it, a lot of times the general wisdom is the doctor says, the orthopedic surgeon who would be in charge of getting it out is like, it will eventually work its way to the surface and then you can take it out. But if it's down in there, you're going to cause more damage going down in there and getting the bullet than you are just leaving it in. And so far I have taken out 2 bullets of people who it literally worked its way up under the skin. And one was when I was still in the Army, and one was here in Charlotte. And both times they had been real deep when it happened, and over the years it had worked itself to the surface, and now it's right under the skin, and it's like a pimple. And just like a pimple hurts like heck, imagine the pimple is now 1/2 inch long and made of steel. That hurts like heck. So I numb it up in size, remove bullet, put in 3 stitches, have a nice day, see you in a week, I'll take the stitches out.
Do you give them the bullet or do you throw it away?
Oh, they get the bullet.
They've been carrying it around. By that point, I figure they're probably attached to it.
For all things, before I throw it away, I'm always like, do you want this? And every once in a while, somebody will surprise me and say, you know what? I want to take it home and show my wife. I'll be like, sure, here you go.
Dude, if I've been walking around with a bullet in my thigh for 5 years and it finally worked its way out like a splinter, you better believe I'm making a necklace out of that thing.
You better believe it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's 3 things that writers get wrong about medicine, and
we might do this
and
again
also
sometime.
about combat, apparently, because a lot of them did involve people trying to hurt each other.
Which we tend to write about quite a bit.
Conflict is important for plot development. So, all right, we'll be back next time with more author talk and more things that writers get wrong.
Thanks.
Until next time, bye.